How goes the family? How goes it? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are having a great and exceptional day. So, it's interesting what's been going on lately in regards to relationship power dynamics. Now, before I go forward, do the great three things like share and subscribe. And another thing, I don't care which side you're on or for the two subject matters I'm going to talk about today. I just find it to be hilarious in my personal opinion, and I go from there. Like I said, if you see my content, the only thing I'm going to argue about if there's some money involved. I'm not going to take sides over celebrity gossip. I'm not going to take sides over politics. I'm not going to take sides over even the sports game. I'm going to take sides over how I can make some money, how I can save some money, and how I can invest some money. I'm not going to argue about things outside of those specific categories. But this is hilarious. All right. So the title today is, hey, relationship power dynamics revealed. All right. So there's situations that are taking place in the entertainment world. And this is actually just a little bit of an entertainment video. Kiki Palmer. All right. I find this situation to be interesting, but it shows that how certain people can have an upper hand in a relationship, depending on how you look at it, when they are the primary breadwinner in a specific relationship. That's just one thing I can say with all sincerity. All right. Now, Kiki Palmer, I have nothing against her. I think she's a beautiful young lady. I remember the first movie I ever saw her in was Aquila and the Bee. I think she's an awesome rock star. I heard recently she's a singer. She's talented in multiple ways, even though that she was in that movie last year called Nope. Um, I thought it was an okay movie, but it definitely wasn't the best movie to come out by Jordan Peele. But it was a decent movie, so I'm not gonna lose much sleep over. Well, I watch it again, not really, but I wasn't totally bored. But it just didn't have that je ne sais quoi when it comes to movies that makes me want to watch it over and over and over again. All right, so when it boils down to it, excuse me. All right. Kiki Palmer social media drama with boyfriend Darius Jackson. Explained. Now, I did not know until the situation took place that Kiki Palmer was even had a baby. I didn't know that, she was in a relationship. I didn't know these things because they're just not that important to me. I'm a grown man. I got more important things to worry about. All right. Let me check my feed here because I think man, I got more important things to worry about. Okay, cool. Let me check my feed here. All right, cool. My screen is slowed down, but it's like you guys can hear me, so that's all that matters. All right. So, anyways, um, so actress Kiki Palmer's boyfriend Darius Jackson has drawn internet scorn since Wednesday night after he publicly criticized Palmer, with whom he has a child with. He criticized her for wearing an outfit he deemed too revealing to an Usher performance, leading angered Twitter users to accuse Jackson of sexism and criticized him for taking his concerns to social media. Now, first off, I think everybody's relationships are different. So let's just call it what it is. All right. Everybody's relationships are different. Not everybody's going to agree on everything in regards to what your relationship is or what my relationship is, or et cetera and so forth. Because let's just keep it real. At the end of the day, I'm definitely not most men. Most men in today's world of 2023, if they're in a relationship, if they're married to a woman, their nose are up their females' butts more than a dog's is. And I'm just keeping it real. And I can never be that guy, and I'm not going to be that guy because I've always have to be my own individual. All right. And I've always been of the mindset is I don't worry about things I can't control. So if I do, I just basically worry myself into a heart attack or a freaking coma. Another thing is, if somebody doesn't want to be with you, you can't force them to be with you. That's another thing that a lot of people, and this whole I have trust issues. This whole they can't go to the bathroom without me being around. This whole they can't have a trip by themselves or with their friends. Is all this nonsense that I see 95% of these relationships do nowadays. I don't subscribe to it, never have, and I die alone if anybody would ever even try to get me to subscribe to some nonsense like that. So that's one thing. Another thing, the problem with this generation, because Kiki and Mr. Jackson, or Darius Jackson, they're a little bit younger than me. But the problem is that with my generation and the younger generation is they want to put every single feeling and moment of their life online. And certain things just need to be kept private. And all the stuff that he if I was in a situation, all the anger and contempt that he felt towards Kiki at the time, all he had to do was be the grown man and say, when she gets back, because I believe they live in LA and she that was at the Usher concert in Las Vegas, when she gets back, let's have an adult conversation face to face instead of having it online. Very simple, to the point. It is what it is. I'm not, it's like, but a lot of everybody else wants to, say that he's a hater. I have no problem with mothers looking beautiful and sexy and all that great stuff. And I saw the video, and she was, at the end of the day, Kiki was being a fan. That's just what it is. Was she dressing sexy? Yeah, a little bit too revealing. Yeah, but she's a grown woman. It is what it is. So that's another thing I can take into consideration. But with my man here, it's just like I think at the end of the day, because I was listening to Jason Black last night and he talked about this. I think at the end of the day is just individual, and I don't know him, so I'm just speculating at this point. Um, the fact that Kiki Palmer is a breadwinner, he's not. She makes more money than him. And of course, he has contempt for the situation because Usher makes more money than both of them, Kiki and Darius, put together. And I guess if Usher really wanted to have Kiki, he probably could, because Usher's just at that point in life where he can have darn near any woman he wants to, because not just, because he's in decent shape, one, but two, he's successful and he's famous. So he makes money throughout various different aspects, not just singing. So I made a video about Usher's financial portfolio, at least the stuff that's out there on public record and whatnot. But at the end of the day, all I can say to this individual about the situation is power dynamics revealed. Okay, here's how power dynamics is revealed. All right. There's an old saying, there's no romance without the finance. And people hate when I say this, but you live in a capitalistic society, regardless who's in the White House, governor's house, and mayor's house. If your significant other is making more money than you, does that mean that they can treat you like a piece of crap? No. Does that mean they can run all over you like a herd of bulls and whatnot? No. But it does mean that they have an opportunity to say, hey, this is how it's going to be. If you don't like it, there's the freaking door. That's just one thing I can say with sincerity. They have the right to say, hey, there's the freaking door. You don't like it. It is what it is. Exactly, Chris. Exactly. It was pure comedy. At the end of the day, that's what the situation is. I'm laughing at it because if you don't like the situation, you could have been the man that just said, "Hey, let me talk to her offline. Let me not reveal this to the world." Because now I believe that Kiki has her own T-shirt line out there talking about I'm a sexy mom or something. Don't quote me on that, but I know she has a T-shirt out there because she has a huge social media following, and she's going to sell a bunch of T-shirts and make a lot of money off of it because of this whole situation. A lot of times, these stupid internet beefs and these things that happen in relationships, they actually help the celebrity become even more popular and famous, and then allows them to be more popular and famous within certain social media or all social media algorithms, and therefore they'll be able to get more money off of their content that they post, number one. And then number two, they're able to sell more products and merchandise. And then, hey, number three, they might even get interviewed more on other popular social media outlets, or be able to get an opportunity to be interviewed on other actual international and national televised talk shows, and be able to get more movie roles and things of that nature. So, hey, and because she's a singer, she'll be able to get more people to listen to her music, and then maybe even, excuse me, go to her concert. So this is just something to think about all at the same time. All right. So that's why I said at the end of the day, this is literally pure D entertainment. And I laugh at it, but it shows the power dynamics of that relationship, because at the end of the day, Kiki's paying the cost to be the boss. All right. That's number one. But number two, it actually brings into another question of, hey, we do live in a time frame where a lot of women, and like I said, this isn't a gender war. I'm not taking sides. This is purely entertainment at this point. All right. If you want to argue, go to someplace else. All right. But we do live in a time where a lot of women make more money than their significant other, their boyfriends, their husbands, etc., and so forth. And a lot of times that, the old saying, paying the cost to be the boss, is true. Love it or hate it, is true. All right. But my whole thing is with Keke Palmer, when I was listening to Jason Black last night on The Business, that's why I'm even going live talking about this, because he really broke it down way more than I ever could. But another thing I could take into consideration is, why would a person of that status date down? have a kid with somebody who's financially beneath them. And I know everything's not about money, but if I live in a town, especially like a city like Los Angeles or New York City, Atlanta, where money moves are being made on a regular basis, why? And I'm surrounded by people who are millionaires and billionaires and whatnot. Why would I date down when I have the opportunity to date at the same level that I'm at, or I have an opportunity to date up? Especially when you get to a certain age in life, if you're not married already or in a relationship with somebody already, the idea should be to date up and definitely not date down. But so many people, unfortunately, get caught up in dating down because a lot of times it's because the person who's quote unquote beneath them have the same IQ level as them, so that they can, because a lot of times people, even if they do have a lot of money, they like to engage in ignorant conversation, not intelligent conversation. So therefore they want to date down at the bottom or whatnot. And this goes for men and women, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't matter. A lot of times that just happens, because a lot of times people are intimidated by intellectual conversation. I've heard females and males say that. So it's an unfortunate thing, but it is a thing. Another thing to take into consideration is they date down because they want to be able to have control. Corey Holcomb, one of my favorite comedians. I got nothing bad to say about him. But he said this on record, and he's going to go live tonight anyways, 5150 show. But he said on record, hey, I date women that are in a financial distress position. Because I know I can have my power dynamics to do basically darn near everything I want to do. He said on record, if I date a woman who's at my level or above and whatnot, then the rules of the game have changed. The power dynamics have changed. And that's just an interesting thing. So that's coming from a male perspective. Now, has Keke Palmer said this? No. But I'm just speculating off of what I've seen, because I'm surprised a woman in her position had a child with a man in that position, well, number one, or is even in a relationship with somebody in that position. But a lot of times females like to be the boss in the relationship, and a lot of men don't have a problem with that. They'll, yes ma'am, thank you, like, hey babe, can I go to the store? No, you can't go without me. Yes ma'am, can I have another? A lot of men, hey, I went to school with a lot of men that are like this to this day. I can't even respect, I don't even call them men to this day. I look at them like, what is wrong with you? You can't go to the bathroom without your woman's permission. But that's just me. I'm a little old-fashioned in that aspect. I guess I'm a dinosaur in that aspect, because I don't roll like that. I don't dog women, but you ain't gonna dog me. That's just not how the game goes. Okay, I'm a grown man. If I say I'm gonna do something, that's how it's gonna be. You don't like it, there's the freaking door. Okay, but it is what it is. So that's the only reason why I can say, because I know that this gentleman, for the most part, might not go anywhere. And the crazy thing is, especially in a state like California, if he does get married to Keke and it doesn't work out, most likely he'll have to get paid alimony and child support. It's happened. Trust and believe that one. Heck, I worked with somebody, and that could happen in any state. Just certain states is worse than others, because whether you like it or not, marriage is a business. It's the reason why you have a marriage license, just like a driver's license, a pilot's license. It's a business, because if the business is terminated, then the parties have to go in their separate direction. But I guess that crazy thing called alimony, and if you have a kid, child support, will come a knocking on that door. Everything is a business decision in the capitalist society, regardless of sitting in the White House, governor's house, mayor's house, love it or hate it, it is what it is. All right, everything's a business decision. That's why I said, if you and your family are not operating like a corporation, regardless of what state and city you're living in, you're going to be screwed as a working person in the United States of America from here on in. All right, so let's move on to Faith Evans before I call it a night, because she's had some situations, unfortunately, with Stephen J. All right, so Stephen J. divorced Faith Evans. And this happened 4 days ago. This article says, and I quote, there are irreconcilable differences that have led to the irremediable breakdown of the marriage or domestic partnership, and there is no possibility of saving the marriage or domestic partnership. And I remember this was a year ago or maybe 2 years ago when he went live online. And usually I don't know about this stuff until somebody just is dumb enough to put this crap out on the internet. But he went live online, basically yelling at his woman, yelling at Faith Evans, talking about, we're going to be, she just wanted, I actually felt bad for Faith Evans at that time, because she wanted to go to sleep. I believe Stephen J is younger than her. And she was like, no, I just want to go to sleep. And he's like, no, we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about it now. And I believe he was live on Instagram about when they had that crazy argument. Um, Faith Evans was previously married twice, once to the obviously notorious B.I.G., rest in peace, and secondly, record label executive Tar Russo. While this Stephen J's first marriage, the former Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star has had numerous previous relationships that resulted in his 6 children. Of course, he has 6 kids. Stephen J is a Grammy Award winning producer and former reality TV star, while obviously we know who Faith Evans is a Grammy winning singer. And the first lady of Bad Boy. And about 6 months after filing for divorce, Stephen J issued a public apology to Evans on social media, writing, "I've hurt you, disrespected you, and humiliated you in front of the world. Yes, you have." He said, "From this day forward, I promise to listen to your feelings and be more delicate with your heart." And clearly that did not happen. But yeah, I remember when that situation happened. And personally, if I was Faith Evans, I wouldn't try to get married to anybody else anytime soon. Or if you have a partnership, you have some stuff in writing, because this could allegedly lead to a situation where she might have to pay him spousal support. But you just never know. You just never know. Yeah, Chris, I'm with you on that one. I'm surprised it lasted this long as well. But sometimes people want to save face, and a lot of times people, yeah, and Chris, you know this more than anybody else. A lot of people will stay in a relationship just so that they can say, "Hey, I'm married," because a lot of times you can't even do business in certain circles, regardless of what industry you work in, unless you have a spouse or a significant other, unless you have kids. Hey, in certain societies around the world, if you're not married, they will not do business with you. If you, especially if you look at certain societies in certain Asian countries, it's all about formalities. Even really in other parts of the world that's not the Western Hemisphere, it's all about formalities. People want to get to know who you are as a person. People, you might look good on paper, you might have the money, but you need to, they want to know who are you as a person. How is your family? How are you as a father or a mother? What is your family dynamic about? What is the history and the current situation of your family? Do you care about my family? Do you care about the things my family values and cultural values and things of that nature? A lot of times people won't even do business with one another if it doesn't become a personal thing. A lot of Americans and European countries had to learn that when they started opening up factories in China and Japan. Well, not Japan, but in China, and doing business in Japan and other parts of the world and whatnot, because it was all about the crazy thing, that one word, formalities, all about the formalities. He said, Chris is like, this is true. I'm starting to see this with my own eyes. And that's just what it is. It's all about the form. You could have all the experience, you can have all the money, the best credit on the planet. But a lot of times if you haven't built that relationship, and that is even true a lot of times, and even in America, if you're trying to grow your business, but you don't have the right banking relationship if you're not working with the right bank or banks. I was having a conversation with these entrepreneurs who have their own trucking business. They have their own church or churches. They have a boat business and a boat charter business and a plane business. Plus they have Airbnbs. Plus they have other rental properties, things of that nature. A lot of times, they will get money from lenders at the banks, but a lot of times they deal with private brokers. And a lot of times they said that they will get denied. They have all the money right, they have the right credit, they'll have the paperwork situation all squared away, but because they don't have a quote unquote relationship with the private brokers and whatnot, that they will not even invest in their business. Or if they do, they'll ensure that you have to take out like $1 million to $500,000 life insurance policy on yourself, and you have to award it to the actual private broker. And that was a piece of game that I got put up on when I went to Reading, Pennsylvania this weekend, because the kind of adults I like to be surrounded by people who make money moves. So everything's about it's a relationship based business. A great example, even Noriega, from Drink Champs. The main reason why him and DJ EFN are even successful is because of with their show, is because of the amount of relationships that they have built throughout their entire career as a DJ, producer, and rapper and actor. Those two, and that combination of them putting that together, because they first started interviewing people that they knew, and now that it's transitioned to people that they know and other people that they've just met all at the same time. Those relationships matter the most. All right. One of the biggest money moves one can make is the amount of relationships that you are building and people who you are engaging with on a regular basis. I'm an introvert, but I know that and the beautiful thing about the cookout, I don't even like going to cookouts, but going to this cookout this weekend in Reading, Pennsylvania, I was able to meet a person who is opening up their own Domino's Pizza, a person who's opening up their own self-storage facility, and people who are just making those power broker deals that I was talking to you about. Biggest money move is the people that you're around. Get the hell away from people that are not talking about growing. Get the hell away from people that just want to be basic. Get the hell away from people that just want to live in the past. All right. That is the moral of this story. Relationship power dynamics revealed. The biggest one that's revealed is, yes, you might make the money and whatnot, but who are you engaging with? What kind of information are you exchanging with other people, and how are you applying it to everyday life? All right. It's nice to have a good time. It's nice to party and all that good stuff, but eventually business has to get done and it has to get conducted. And in my personal opinion, if you're about something, then be with somebody who's about something. Don't date below I don't care, man, woman, child, whatever the case. Do not date or marry anybody who's below your standards. All right. So on that note, hopefully you guys have a great night. That's all she wrote. Like I said, I was late tonight, but as they say, better late than never. Heading to Jackson, Mississippi this week. Going to be looking at some real estate property down there. So it's going to be my first time, but it's all good, and that's what it is. All right. So on that note, do a great things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. And as I always say, family, make money moves, or you're going to live broke like a fool. Life's too short. And hey, don't let it fly by like a person just hanging out smoking a Newport. Because when you do, I just end up looking at you like this.
No different than anyone else. You really believe that nonsense you're saying? Look at me when I talk to you.
And on that note, family, I'm out. Take care, and I'll see y'all next time.
Mike, now.